Welcome to an explanation of the physics behind the sport of triathlon. So a triathlon is a single event consisting of a swim, bike, and run leg, and this video we're watching today is a short course professional women's triathlon. In the swim, which is the first leg of the triathlon, as you can see there, there's one physics concept that essentially makes it possible for these athletes to swim, which is Newton's third law of motion. And this law states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, or for every force, there's an equal and opposite force. So when they swim and push on the water using their arms and legs, the water pushes back on them with the same force, thus propelling them forward. So another thing they're keeping in mind as they're doing their swim is to reduce their drag as much as possible. So they want to be as hydrodynamic as possible. They want to, swim through the water with as least resistance as they possibly can, which means their suits are tight, and they're keeping their arms close to their body so they're not flailing all around and catching onto more water. And for the bike leg of the race, there's some more physics that's going to be involved, obviously. So when they get on their bike, they're going to want to generate as many watts of power as they possibly can. And we know that a longer lever makes doing work easier. So, for example, a long-handled wrench removes a stuck bolt way more easily than a short-handled one. And it's because the diameter is greater, so you need less force to do the same amount of work. Newton's first law is also relevant here because Newton's first law of inertia says that an object at rest or in motion tends to stay at rest or moving with constant motion unless acted on by an unbalanced force. So these cyclists are in constant motion when they're on their bikes, and they'll keep moving unless they're acted on by an opposing unbalanced force, like the force of friction on the brakes when they have to stop. And something that is helping them along the way is the force of friction. Friction is the force that acts parallel to the runner in the opposite direction, so it basically just keeps them stuck to the ground and pushing forward instead of sliding all around. And another force that is acting on them all the time, but that is helping them run, is the force of gravity. If they can really narrow down their running form, it can help them use gravity to their advantage by having gravity pull them forward if they're leaning at their ankles and making running so much easier and so much faster. We have seen how physics helped these triathletes cross the line and be a little bit faster.